I don't belong in this place.
Feel I'm falling.
Way out in outer space.
I hear you calling.
No matter what you say,
I'm done listening.
I think I'm gonna stay.
Now I'm sinking.
Down and down and down, all around you. Pressure's on today.
She don't know.
What her friends will say.
They're so cold.
What does it matter anyway?
Who really knows?
Autumn counts down its days.
Begins to snow.
Down and down and down, all around you. My interlude. You watch.
That's He Said, She Said with Interlude. That is a remastered track that is due to drop the end of next week. We have a video coming out the 16th, which is really unique in its nature. We're going to talk about that tonight on the show and so much more. So, you're going to want to cozy up, grab yourself a glass of wine or your whiskey, your favorite drink, a joint, whatever. Join us online tonight because we're going to sit back with Shane and Jess, and we're going to talk about a couple of things or more. Anyway, I tend to ramble sometimes, but before I do, I want to introduce my co-host with the most from the East Coast, Sean McKenna from the podcast Bar Stools and Band Talk. Rim Shots with Sean.
Howdy ho. I have to do this. I don't know if you can see this or not. Can you see that?
I see that. Headhunters, fiercely creative.
Yeah. I am a brand new Headhunters drumsticks artist. They are based out of Burlington, Ontario. And they are wicked. And I want to give them a plug because anybody that's looking, and I'll tell you something very quick. Anybody knows that I got carpal tunnel. And they make these wonderful sticks with grips on them. And I use them on the weekend, and man, oh man, what a big difference. So,
game
go
changer.
check them out. Absolutely.
Have you tried those drumsticks that have the finger hooks in them?
Not yet. I've actually contacted the guy to talk about getting a set so I could do a review on them.
You better get those and do a review on them. Give them a try because he says they're the greatest thing. You never a stick never slips out of your hand again, ever.
Well, that'd be amazing because I probably have 7 to 10 sticks slip out of my hand every show.
You know what? You and every other drummer that struggles with fighting something like carpal tunnel. It's not a happy thing to have.
It's not, and it's sometimes it's not even the show where it bothers you. It's just every day to day, driving in your car or sleeping or whatever. So it's
right.
Those sticks made a huge difference this weekend.
Excellent. Well, we got a fun show tonight. We got Shane, he said, Jess, she said. We're going to find out what he said, she said tonight. A whole lot more. You got any new news in the music world there, bro?
Rock the Harbor. I think you were here for that last year. It's this weekend, and going to go cover that for Rim Shots, which is going to be fun. It's 3 nights, so I think it's like Barney Bentall. No, sorry, Aldenova, Dug in the Slugs, and I think 5440 is the first night. couple of reunions of local legendary bands are going to be playing, Titan and Razor Boy. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And just always make it. Oh, I will tell you one really cool thing. There's a gal by the name of Liza Grossman. If you look her up, she used to run this little thing called the Cleveland Youth Orchestra. And so it was a bunch of band kids. And what she did is she started, and it started with Styx. She reached out to them and said, look, I've got this, 60 some odd piece band of kids. Styx did an entire concert with them. Anyway, I reached out to Liza, and she's going to be coming on Rimshots, and she is super cool. Super cool. And a big fan of Michelle Ryder instantly. So there you go.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of cool stuff going on in our world. We got some new music coming out this month. These guys have a new single coming out. I think we got 2 new singles coming out on this coming Friday.
And hey, Ken, not that I don't like looking at myself, because I do, but I'm the only one I'm the only one I can see right now.
Well, this was all about you for the first couple of minutes anyway, right?
There you go.
So anyway, I got to tell you, we had some great music coming out this week with our friends from He Said, She Said. We got new music coming out from a band called Angry Hill. We got Outrun the Past, which I believe that is by Visions of Morpheus. Those guys are out of the, I want to say,
I thought it was Oshawa,
area?
wasn't it?
Oshawa area.
Oshawa.
Oshawa. I think Oshawa. They had a song called Outrun the Past. It just came out on April the 9th. And then we've got more music coming out August 23rd. So a lot of really, really great music coming out the next little while. So stay tuned. Watch the stuff that's coming out the next little while. We got great music coming out your way from Anytunes Records. So check it out. And without further ado, we're going to talk to Shane. He said, Jess, she said, and we're going to find out what he said, she said tonight. Man, we could make a tongue twister out of that one. How you guys doing?
Doing great. I took your advice and got some wine.
There you go.
Said by the seashore.
Yeah, that's right. He said, she said by the seashore.
Seashore.
Seashore, sure.
Great stuff, guys. I'm going to flip things around here, see if I can get,
Sure.
we're going to put you guys over here and me and Sean there. How's that?
Cool.
Works for me.
Okay,
Looks
great.
good.
Looks good.
You guys got some cool tunes that come out of a couple of different creative directions, right? Like you guys have completely different musical backgrounds, right?
Very,
Yeah. Just
very.
a little.
But yet we still appreciate the other person's genres, or you
Yeah.
know what we like, right?
Yeah.
Like I come from rock background, but at the same time I love Dean Martin and Elvis and all that stuff, and ABBA, where Jess is
I'm more theatrical.
very theatrical,
I
but
get the voice training and the whole.
but she's also in another band that does covers of like Sinatra and Etta James and
yeah.
all these
Nora
Jones and all this stuff too, right? And Nat
Jazzy.
King Cole, and so this
Dinner
really,
music.
yeah, exactly. So there's this huge diversity when it comes to us, and I think that's
It's fun.
that's what makes it work, though. I think for us, because we were just talking about this actually today. Last night we were just talking about how we don't really fit into a specific genre or style. A lot of our songs, like even when we're working on some new stuff, it's very diverse. Like there will be kind of more alternative stuff, then there'll be more like ballad type stuff, and then there'll be like almost like Americana stuff. So there's
Yeah.
I like that though, because there's no real limit of what we can do as far as our creativity goes, right?
It just pulls from different angles, right? And then we can merge them together, and I can use my strengths and he can use his strengths in the song. So it's kind of fun. Like this one, Interlude. I love this one because I echoed him, and there was just something really cool about the male voice to the female voice and that whole feel to the song. And it also worked
cool
with
vibe.
the video too. Like,
Yeah.
It was really cool. So,
You guys are so fucking artsy.
Yeah.
We're a little artsy. A little artsy.
Yeah, it's almost like art. I look at your genre as almost like an Art Deco approach to making music.
That's cool.
I like that.
I do.
I'll
too.
take it.
Yeah.
I mean,
We will
maybe
take-
you guys have invented a whole new genre of music.
Sure.
sure.
We made it our own.
That's just
That's
it.
what you have to do.
But I think that's what I think that's why, like I said, works so well with us, and why I think I love working together with Jess is because there is no limitations. That literally the sky is the limit. Whatever we
right.
feel is cool to us, we do it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I want to take a pause for a second here. I want to thank some of our regulars that show up here in the chat room week after week. Dean Bo A. Harnish, thanks for joining us tonight.
Demo.
Red D Film, our friend Brent Durner from
Brent.
My Wicked Twin, and Boiler Beach is
Boiler
online
Beach.
tonight.
Played the show with them live last night.
Yeah.
Right, they don't live too far from you guys, right?
No, they're in Kincardine. We actually played in Kincardine with them last night. First time playing on their stage. That they
Amazing.
made this up. Oh my god, this is great mobile stage these guys have, man. It was so fun playing with them.
They have Boiler Beach has a mobile full
Mobile
production stage.
It is
Yeah.
killer, man. It is
so fun.
it's
They're trying to find
everything
bands
you want on a stage. It's got it.
They're trying to find bands to rent it out, aren't they?
Yeah, or just events. Like if you want to pay, hire them to come into your event, and they'll bring their stage with them, and they'll rock it out.
Terry and I have been talking about power generating the thing and doing pop-up concerts.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, pop-up concert would be awesome.
You'll
Right?
have people
Just
there.
show up in a parking lot,
Just do
drop
it.
the trailer, start playing fucking music.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So
That'd be cool. Shane, you got like I said, you guys have this theatrical thing going on, and Jess is currently in some kind of a play, right?
Some kind of a
We
play.
both are.
But she just landed the lead role of Maria in Sound of Music.
Yeah.
So
I'm
she's
a problem people need to solve.
Yeah, that's right.
How do
Don't
you
we
solve
know
a
it?
problem like Maria?
Don't we?
Except
know?
I don't even sing that song.
No, you don't. But yeah, so she's we're pretty happy for that.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you
Yeah. I'm
for
happy
landing that
too.
role. So it's a big role.
It's a dream role because Julie Andrews, like raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens. She's just like, she's got this feel, right? She's just gorgeous. And her voice, I'm so sad about her. But she just, I don't know. I just ate her up growing up.
Sean, what do you think, buddy?
Ugh.
Oh, what, the Sound of Music?
No, about the whole thing we're talking about.
For starters, Kincardine. True story. I don't know if they would remember Boiler Beach or even you guys. What the bar was in the early 90s, it was the one and only bar that was there.
The Bruce.
That's what it was. And I played
Yeah, I was in a band called Silver Links back in high school. We played that bar several times.
I played at Christmas Day, 1993.
93.
Ooh,
Okay.
fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So that
3
would've been
degrees of Kevin
that would've
Bacon.
been just after. Well, yeah, because we were more like late 80s, I think, is when we played in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been like 10.
Yeah, Shane may have a
You
baby.
would've been like 10.
Shane might have a baby face, but he's been around a few decades.
Yeah, he's old.
Yeah, I'm like 75. I look really good. I work out.
you and I
Try.
go way back, Shane.
Yeah, we do actually. Yeah, with Coaching for Sarah,
That's right.
which is funny actually because Jess and I were also talking about this day too. Is that this song Interlude? It was actually the first Coaching for Sarah song I wrote.
No way.
Yeah, in 2012, and I wrote a bunch of songs during that time, and that was one that never. It just. I wrote other ones, and we decided to use those ones instead. So I don't think like any other guys in the band even heard that one.
Yeah.
So it was never in. That wasn't. But you know what? Coaching for Sarah wasn't that kind of a band. You guys weren't Art
That's
Deco.
just it, and
Yeah,
it was,
it's
and
it.
I mean, yeah, like I mean, because of bringing Jess on and stuff like that, and it just took on a whole other feel
Yeah.
than what I had, and that's probably why I never.
It wouldn't have fit with your style.
Right, yeah, it was very different. Like I remember, okay, so Lars does our production and producing, and mixing and mastering and stuff with this song.
Yeah.
And I remember when I said it to him, he's like, "Did Jess write that song?" I'm like, "No, that was me." He goes, "Oh, because it's not like a song you would normally write."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Well, it was actually the first Coaching for Sarah song I wrote, and Lars was in Coaching for Sarah." So I thought that was kind of funny that he didn't know that.
Who
But
would have
yeah,
thought?
You know, it's a really common thing for artists to write music and never use it in the intended project,
right.
right? But use it later on in something else, whether it's a solo project or whether it's the formation of yet another project that goes,
Right.
huh,
Yeah.
this has a better fit.
Yeah, and that's
it.
exactly you
That's
nailed
what
it.
happened.
Well, yeah, you were saying about it like when
Well, when he played it for me the first time, I'm like, oh my God, this is so awesome. Like I loved it. I just loved the feel. I loved the sound. And I remember after we recorded it just on our phone, ran out and like, Mom, like
I
to his
telling
mom.
my mom about
I
it.
was
Yeah.
like, you gotta hear the song. And she listened and she's like, did you write that, Jess? I'm like, no, it's one of Shane's.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
like, that's really good. And she
Yeah.
loved it. And it was
I just
just
thought
like,
the-
I loved it from the beginning.
Like I always had this idea of like the call and chase. Like I sing a line, she sings a line, sort of thing. I always had that in the back of my head. Except if it was going to be me, it would have been like the second line would have kind of been in the background, sort of thing. So when I approached Jessica, I was like, it'd be really cool for the female to sing every second line, and that's kind of what we did, and it worked so well.
Yeah. Made the video work.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Right.
the whole storyline. It's very cool.
Yeah.
And Shane, you took those characters and cartoonized them.
Yeah. So what I did is I filmed it. Me and actually my friend Chris Chamberlain actually helped
Thanks,
film
Chris.
it too. Yeah, thanks, Chris, buddy. He helped. I directed it, but he helped with the filming of it and stuff too. And then what I did is I animated over it, so that way I could change things up a little bit. Like you'll see in the video, like obviously, just didn't really fall from the sky, but we'll get into that story in a minute. But
I did
yeah,
fall.
you did fall, but you didn't fall from the sky technically. So, anyways, that's why like the idea I had in the whole idea of the video, I knew I wouldn't be able to do it just with filming it.
Yeah.
I had to do something else to add to it. So I figured, well, if I could film it and then animate over it, I can add and take away things that I want, and that's kind of what I did.
That's a long process to do that, right?
2 years. I've been working on this video for 2 years.
I have a funny story about that actually.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So this one day, this is like just a few weeks.
It was about a
back.
week before I sent you the video and stuff, Ken.
Yeah. So he writes me, he's like, Jess, I can't find my iPad anywhere.
And
I'm
all the
like,
video was on the iPad.
What? And he's losing it. He's like,
I lost
can't.
my mind.
He's like, I've retraced all my steps, this and that. He's like, the last time I had it was Canada Day. He's like,
'Cause I played a
it's
solo
gone.
show at Canada Day, and I had my iPad
Gone.
there.
So he's losing it. And I couldn't even hear him, but just the texts were like so intense. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, it's got to be someone. And then I was like, oh, wait, you have worked on it this week after the first, because on Wednesday, the 3rd, he had sent me images
An
because he was
update of
just
what I was
fixing
working
it up,
on.
the last colors to make them work. So then he's like, what do you think of this? And so I said, look, and I sent him a screenshot. This is what you sent
So I
me.
knew it had
You
to be
did
here
have it."
somewhere. So I
So he's
found
like,
it.
Okay. I said, there's hope. There's hope. There's always hope.
I
Oh
can
my
always
gosh.
replace the iPad, but I
But
cannot replace the
2
work I did.
years.
Tell
2
tell
years.
me tell me that you had it saved in the cloud.
Oh yeah, like it was saved. Everyone was saved there.
Okay.
That wasn't a problem.
Good.
It was
yeah.
just the iPad itself had gone missing. And like
Oh
I
my
said, I
God.
can replace an iPad. It is what it is, but I
But
couldn't replace the
still,
work
like,
I had done.
Oh my God.
it's just, yeah.
Yeah.
And now, when you submitted the video, did you immediately get a text from Ken saying, "Is this the coded version of the video?
Yep.
Is all the metadata in there?"
How did you know? You
Has
must
he done that
you must work with Ken regularly.
You see this gray hair on the side that I can't
excuse
cover up?
me.
Yeah. Right.
Before this interview started.
Yeah. Let me take my wig off. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right?
You had
He's
hair
a-
before the interview
Yeah,
started.
yeah. And this was darker.
Cool.
No.
Sean is
Grecian just for men, dark brown.
Just-
All right.
Yeah, just for laughs,
Yeah.
you mean? That's what I use. I use just for laughs.
Sean is
great.
a is a true convert because you know, it wasn't just him. There was a couple of other artists that helped me discover that what I had just assumed, that when they were sending me videos to put up on the YouTube channel, I just made the assumption that they were using encoded tracks.
Right.
Right.
And then it dawned on me, I never really did outright ask that question. I'm not that like, wait a minute, where did you get the Wavemaster for to make the video? What's the original Wavemaster? Is that before or after I coded it?
Right. Yeah.
And they're like,
That makes a difference. Why, Ken?
oh, and they're like, oh yeah, it was before. I'm like, oh,
Don't ask those questions. We'll be here all night.
this happened at the 11th hour, just before I was supposed to publish the video, right? And I went to them and I said, we got to switch this. Here's the encoded master. You have to go get it synced back to the video and send it back to me. And then I've got to put everything all back in to get it ready to post, right?
Right.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that was a long night for everybody. It was a nightmare, but it was a real wake up call. And then I started saying to people, now I'm telling people in advance, if you're making a video, when you want the audio track for it, or you need it right away, make sure you have the encoded Wavemaster from me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And it makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
then
We
you
are
get-
collecting royalties
royalties.
off videos. Sean is going to be one of those test cases because he's driving a ton of traffic towards YouTube videos.
Nice.
Cool.
And he's having some really good success with that.
Awesome.
We're going to wait and see what the numbers are like in a few months to see if it's generating a different kind of revenue than other streaming services.
Okay, cool.
Because we're in a position now that we're not only are able to monetize videos on the channel, but we're also able to earn ad revenue. So when an artist's music plays, that ad revenue gets tagged to their video,
Oh, okay.
and the artist is earning royalties on that play.
Right.
So that's
Through the ad company.
through the ad company. So here's a
Good.
possibility of a new revenue type stream. We don't know what it's going to yield at this point. It takes a good, I don't know, probably 6 months. And Sean, you were saying the bean counters were off there, like because Google was having some issues, right?
Well, they still are, because I was talking to somebody today, and that Microsoft piece that happened a couple weeks ago, there's still data and numbers in their cache that hasn't reported. So they're thinking they're going to see this big spill that's going to come out. You see it even a little bit in Spotify, depending upon whose material you're looking at. That being said, the way that YouTube pays is quarterly, but it's almost 2 quarters before you actually see it. It's a very
Right.
strange system, but
You guys just reminded me of something I got to do tonight. And these guys aren't kicking me in the ass, and I thank them for it, but they should be kicking me in the ass for this. Because we have another video that should be up on our YouTube channel. And originally the artist put it up on the channel, and I said, I'd really prefer it if we put it up on our YouTube channel and drove the traffic to our YouTube channel because of the monetization piece of it.
Right.
Because your track is encoded, there's a greater opportunity for us to earn more revenue.
Right.
Because not only can we earn in streaming revenue off the music, but we can earn potential ad revenue.
Right.
So we'll see how this goes. It's an experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's check it out.
If nothing else, the views that Sean's getting on YouTube is getting the music out in front of more people.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
well, and it's pretty
Yeah.
crazy. Right, the newest single sitting somewhere around 27,000 views. The one before that got almost 60.
Is that for Michelle Ryder?
Yep.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. There you go.
So here's an opportunity, something for you guys to think about. I'm always pitching stuff to people for people to think. So Sean does a lot of great promotion. He has a great promotional network of people.
Mhm.
He doesn't do it for free. He
No.
he does private consultations with people.
What?
But
What? You don't do it for exposure, Sean?
Well, in Halifax, apparently I do.
Apparently.
Yeah.
He does-
Yeah,
doesn't
we won't get into the whole
stuff.
will you play for exposure thing again.
Well, so here's a very, very funny one. I had a conversation with a guy last week, and it was about sponsored ads. So he was doing an event, and he said, "Well, I'm taking sponsored ads," and I'm like, "Okay, well, what data you get?" And he told me. I said, "Well, here's the data that I can actually give you. That's not the stock sponsored ad stuff." He goes, "Oh, interesting." And then he turned around the next day and he ran a bunch of sponsored ads. This week, he contacts me on Monday. It's not working. Yeah, well, when you wasted my time last Monday, and I because I actually took the time to get tools that are, I can see where things are going. I can segment.
Right.
And
There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that people don't realize.
Hey,
absolutely.
I got an interesting fact for you tonight. There is an add-on that people can put on their computers, on their browsers, that can filter what Facebook feeds you.
What?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And it can actually block sponsored ads.
Well,
And,
let's see.
and people are using it. People are using it because they don't like the sponsored ads. They think people that use the sponsored ads are desperate, right? And they're not interested in the sponsored ads. What they want is this.
Right.
Yeah.
Real. They want reality. They want people that are willing to reach out and build an organic audience. And that's what you guys are doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I
We're
mean,
trying.
as an example, you guys did your show in Kincardine, and had you run a sponsored ad, somebody in BC might have seen it.
That's just it. It's irrelevant.
It's not the local.
Well, it's not, and they tell you can target that, but can you really target it? Because when you get in an analytics, so we have a couple of suburbs when we're doing. If I'm promoting a show for somebody and it's in the town of Bedford, which is about 20 minutes from me, I can go
Right.
into my database and hit all the people that I have in Bedford plus some other ones.
Right.
Which sponsored ads won't do that. They'll kind of gloss over it, right? But
Right. They'll do like an
Yeah.
an international thing or something.
Here's a free piece of advice. Okay, you guys have a following. You have a dedicated following. You have some people who really are dedicated to what you do. Some of those people actually showed up in some of your videos, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Right.
time well spent.
So
Yeah.
here's here is my challenge to you and every other independent artist, whether you're on our label or not, right? Find 10 of those people who would be willing, and they're connected to other networks, who would be willing to boost your posts,
Right.
right? Think about it. The power of 10, right? 10 people to repost
It's
what
kind of
you
like that
post
old
out.
shampoo commercial from the 80s. And they'll
Right.
try it, they'll try it, and so on and so on.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's
I
that
don't-
whole
Yeah,
organic
'cause you were like 5.
that whole organic reach thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my challenge.
well, and so
Yeah,
here's the
that's a
thing.
challenge.
I get to take part in some of these YouTube tutorials, and there's a stat out there. I don't remember what it was that they said, but it's a very high stat that I'm going to say 75% of the people in your network don't share a post that you share about you. They will about themselves, but if you do it
Oh, absolutely.
about you, and it's basically statistically dumb because you hit algorithms in different ways if you promote it, and the mindset is, well, I don't want to promote you guys because that's going against me. But no, it'll actually boost your post within your network and some other networks.
Yes.
People just do not understand that.
No,
Yeah.
it's true.
Get
It's
those
true.
10 people to post it and get them to try to recruit other
Okay,
people
for those who are listening,
that would
I have
repost
my
it.
finger in the right spot.
And this is something that I tell artists, if you're looking for the best organic growth, you get 10 super followers,
Right.
right? 10 super supporters.
Super fans.
Yeah.
Those are the people, when you guys are playing a big venue, who will get
They'll make you
free
guys,
tickets.
he said, she said,
They'll
capes.
get free tickets because they're the people that have been there from you from the beginning.
That's right.
They've supported you,
I've already got some in mind already. So that's
and they're
perfect.
willing to push the word out and support you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at all the people that showed up in your video. They weren't paid extras, were they?
No.
No.
We
Not
just
at
had
all.
a good time. That was so much fun.
Yeah. We have a half decent following. I mean, yeah, it's great. Like, yeah, we have a really good fan base.
We have
You're
the
fa-
faithful people who come out to like all of our gigs.
Yeah,
so,
we have
it's
the
really
super
cool.
fans, but we have the fans too, even from like, you know,
Yeah.
BC and the States and whatever. But obviously they can't come to our shows, but they still follow us on Facebook and they give us a thumbs up lots of times. So
Yeah.
Well,
It's amazing.
Well, it's interesting how people can find followers in the most interesting of places, right?
yeah. I know, like we're both servers at a local pub here in Walkerton.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so we always
Walker's Landing.
Walker's Landing, so there's a boost for that. Yeah, we love our job and love our customers, and we're always promoting our band to our customers. And it's crazy how many like fans we get out of that, or gigs even, from talking to people, because you never know where these people are from or who they know. And we talk about, as soon as we talk about music, we mention, oh yeah, we're in a band or whatever, and then they're like, oh, and then they want to know more about it, and boom, we've got a gig or we've got more fans. It's you just got to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Word of mouth.
Yeah, and everything for you guys has been about organic growth right from the very beginning.
Absolutely.
Am I correct about
It's
that?
the only way I want to do it.
Well, and this year we didn't even reach out to people for gigs. I was telling this to someone. Everybody contacted us,
Which is great. It's
and
a
we
good
didn't
feeling.
have to try and get any gigs, and we have so many.
Because
We
I
have
planned-
to tell people we can't.
I
make
planned
it.
this summer, no joke.
So-
I was like, you know what, Jess, I'm not going to proactively look for any shows. I wanted us to work on original music this summer.
Right.
And then just the gigs kept coming, and
Yeah.
I don't want to refuse them. So yeah, so we were booked for the summer,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
a good thing. I'm not personal
No,
by
no.
saying that.
I love it.
It's nice to see that, you know, we've been doing this for about 4 years. We're finally starting to get that recognition and that name for ourselves, that people are willing to bring us on.
Yeah.
So we are very appreciative of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's some cool stuff that's happening in terms of people that are listening to your music.
Right.
Right. You've got 134 regular followers now
Not bad.
that consistently stream your music.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah.
And people are streaming your music multiple times, which is really good, because that means they're coming back to it. They're liking the tune.
Right.
And maybe it's now on a playlist.
Right. And
Right.
that's kind of what we're working towards, is things like that. Again, on more playlists
Right.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have picked up a couple of playlists. Your music's been added to a couple of playlists, so that's an interesting thing when you start looking at that level of engagement as well, because that's a really important thing, right? I mean, looking at what's happening there. Who do you think listens to your music more?
What do you mean?
What age group is that? What age group do you think has the largest number of people?
I'm
listening to you?
thinking probably between the ages of 40 and 50.
45 to 59, 37% of the people listening to your music are age 45 to 59.
There you go.
But here's an interesting fact, okay? Between the ages of 23 and 59, you've captured 82% of the audience.
There you go. That's
So the cool thing about it is that you have a demographic with disposable income.
Yeah, because like our age group, like the age groups we have, you're right. Like, I mean, they're so, you know, we're not just focused on teenagers or 20s or whatever. Like we have fans all over the map as far as ages go, which I think is a huge win.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that 18% of your listeners are millennials, that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? 18% of your
Our
listeners.
most requested song when we played live is some of our originals, which is
Yeah, I mean,
pretty cool.
between the ages of 23 and 44, that encompasses 45% of your audience.
Nice. That's good.
Right?
But those are the ones that are going to buy the music, right? Like, they're the ones that are going to go out
So those
Down
are all market statistics that I pull out of analytics, right?
Right.
And I'm sharing them with you real time tonight
Yeah.
Yeah.
to show you
First
the
time
level
I've
of
heard it.
yeah. And Shane, is that one of the reasons you came to me in the first place? Was this stuff?
No, it was your stunning blue eyes.
And the fact that you're Kenny and we're not.
That's right. That's what it is.
Gotta
Um,
say.
Well, I don't really, to be honest, I don't even how did we connect? Was it at a show?
Yeah, so here's the thing. We did a indie show together, and I produced the live sound for it.
Okay.
And the other guy that was I shall be unnamed wanted to kill me.
Oh yes.
Don't say his name.
Wasn't
Do
that,
not.
I won't say his name. I won't say his name. But wasn't that like an indie rock revival thing? Like it was.
Yeah,
a weekend
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
right?
It was an indie
That's
indie
right.
weekend. It was an all indie
That's
weekend.
when I met Frank Reiner.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing was that all indie weekends wasn't supposed to happen then.
And
Right?
that wasn't the name. That's not the guy who wanted to kill you, by the way. Frank Reiner's like freaking.
Oh no, not him. No, some
No,
other
he's
guy.
amazing. No, this other guy. Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, that's where we met. But
Okay.
you and I met through another artist that was on the label for a short time.
Right. Yes, because we played with them a couple
Right.
shows or something,
And she
I
put
think
you on
they
to me.
may have been the ones to kind of like send me your way.
Yeah, I think she said you should talk to Shane. God bless her. I spent a lot of time. She was high maintenance, so I had to let her go. But
Another
the
named
thing,
woman.
but the thing is that she did point you in my direction, and it was really weird because when we met, that was like 2016.
Something like no, I think even before that. I think it was like 2014 or 15, because I think the Coach for Sarah album came out in. It might have been around that time. It might have been.
Hang on a second. Let me. I've got it pulled up here. Let me see when the first album came out with you guys. That was a long time ago,
Yeah, I think it's
believe it or not.
2016.
And had you guys already published it? We republished it. I can't remember.
Yeah, we remastered it.
Right. So that was released January 1st, 2016.
2016. Okay.
That was your self-titled album,
Yeah.
and that was an ambitious project that you guys took on back then.
It really was because I mean, at the time, I may have known 3 chords on the guitar, and I was not a guitar player at all. I started off drumming, then I went to singing.
You know a few more chords.
I especially joining with you, doing all jazz stuff. I know a lot more chords now. But Lars came to me, and our other band was kind of on hiatus, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to write an album together?" I was like, "Sure." He literally hands me that guitar. It was black before, it's painted now, but and said, "Go to town." So I started writing, and it just stuff just came out, and I wrote that album in probably about 3 weeks, and then we started putting together, and it was really, we weren't really taking it serious at first. We're like, let's just play these, like record these songs and see where it goes, and they were starting to really take shape, and we were really digging them. And then a good friend of ours, Greg Kerrigan, who is an incredible drummer, I was in bands with him, Boondoggle,
Right.
The Ultrasounds, a bunch of bands. He's just got an incredible ear for music and for producing, and he took that on and he made us sound really good. So yeah, and then we loved it, so we took it on and we hired other guys, a bass player and a drummer, to come on with us and played lots of shows.
Yeah, you guys did like 12 tracks on that album. That was an ambitious project.
Yeah, full-length album on that one. There's a couple songs actually that didn't recorded but never made the CD.
So it was 2015 when you came over to me, and I had a much different idea of a business model then, and we won't get into the details of that, but you challenged my business model. Do you remember that?
Yes. Yeah, I did.
And you actually are responsible for the direction that I went with my business model.
See, you're still friends.
We're still friends.
That's
You don't,
so nice.
and you don't hate me. That's great.
Well, he doesn't.
No,
Yeah, he doesn't tell me that. He doesn't tell me that.
You said to me, you know what? You're a guy that really wants to support artists. So put the artist first in everything. right?
Right.
If you really want to support artists, put them first in everything. So in our earning scheme, the artist earns 75% of everything we earn.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
it's a little
And-
backwards compared to the traditional label model.
Right, and I think that's what's so so intriguing, and so why people want to sign up with you too, right? Is because you are there for the artist. You're not trying to pull one over on them, and you're not some sort of money grabber, right?
Yeah,
you're
care
trying.
about the
You've got like a plethora of information in that brain of yours to help them. You do though, to help them. Like, I mean, you've taught me so much, so I'm still learning so much. And to help them through this, like, we're all in this together, especially as indie artists. We all need every little bit of help we can get, and you do that. You help them get the exposure they need. You help them understand the business side of things, especially with the way the business is now. You know, back in the day, you played a gig, you put posters up on hydro poles. You know, now it's a completely different animal, and you help us with that. You help so many other bands with that, and I encourage anyone who's looking for some sort of support system is to go your way for sure.
Well, Sean and I are still trying to figure out a way, you know, that we're gonna get him on board as you know, our promo guy for the label.
Right.
Awesome.
That's
Because
amazing.
he has so many great organic connections and so many connections
You
with
do.
in various industries.
I can't believe
that-
you got Rick Emmett on there. Do you guys understand? Okay, I'll send you a picture, Ken. I've got a painting on my wall when I was like 17 that I painted of Triumph. Like, I was the biggest Triumph fan ever. And when I heard that Rick Emmett was going, I'm like, what? I lost my mind.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's talking to my
He
friend
did.
right now.
He
Like, my brother's met Rick a couple times at a show, but oh my God, the guy's a god to me.
Rick's former musical director is a guy by the name of Marty Anderson, who used to have a company
Okay.
called Midnight Hour Production in Mississauga.
Okay.
And Marty, in the mid 2000s, took on some lighting technology that everybody was like, "Oh, it's a dog; it's not going to work." He ended up selling it for millions of dollars, and so he spent 6 months of the year in Mississauga, 6 months of the year in Florida. But I got to, the first time I interviewed Rick, I got to right a wrong that happened 30 years ago, because when I was in Halifax, he was here. We opened for him.
Okay. Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, we were. I'm all drunked up on the. You know, I loved you guys on the Thunder, or the Power. I called it the Power 7 tour, not the Thunder 7 tour.
It was Thunder 7. Yeah.
And he actually remembered the incident, and he said, "I'm glad you apologized, because that's been lingering with me for 30 years." And he was joking, obviously, but he's a super cool guy, man.
He is
such
so
a nice
down
guy.
to earth, like,
Yeah.
such a nice dude.
Yeah.
So funny story with that. So, I was like, I think I was 16 or 17 or something like that. And remember back when Canada's Wonderland had the awesome concerts there?
Yeah.
They used to have wicked concerts.
Kingswood.
And yeah, Kingswood, yes.
Yeah.
I saw Poison there. I saw a bunch of bands back in the 80s, right?
Yep.
You were 5. And anyways, so Triumph was playing there, and I was so excited. So me and my buddies were all going to go to this Triumph concert. We made this huge Triumph poster to hold up and stuff. And I just landed like a new job, like KFC or something stupid. And my parents wouldn't let me take the time off to go see the show.
Gotta be
So,
responsible.
Yeah, so I missed the show, but here's the kicker, okay? My parents, they had a subscription to like Sun-Times or something out of Toronto, right? That would get delivered every day to the doorstep. The next day after the show, front cover, Rick Emmett rocking out at the Kingswood. Rick Quits was the title. It was their last show before Rick left. And I missed it because of KFC. I'm like, what? I'm so
The old dirty, done in by the dirty bird, right?
12 herbs and
Stands for
spices my ass.
Killing me at the concert.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Hefty.
that tour that I called by the wrong name, Helix opened for them. And
Helix,
of course,
okay, yeah.
well, and
Brian
Brent Turner,
Palmer.
and Brent's on here somewhere. I mean, I remember seeing them, and I remember reading something in Hit Parader magazine, Lemmy from Motorhead saying one of the best live bands he had ever seen was
Oh,
Helix.
Triumph?
Yeah, no, Helix.
Oh, Oh yeah, for sure they would be.
Yeah,
Well,
so I mean,
Brian
they
Vollmer-
open.
Brian Vollmer was my vocal instructor for a couple of years.
Right on.
So I know I mean Brian's had many students, so I don't even know if he remembers me, but I totally remember.
You went to Brian for 2 years as a student?
about 2 years. I think it was a year and a half or something.
I
like
wonder
that.
I wonder if he knows you're on the label.
I don't know. He might.
Oh,
He might.
there's a great,
I haven't talked to Brian. Last time I saw Brian was like I think at Eastside Bar in London. He was playing pool or something, and then we were there to see my buddy's Ryan Spong's Zeppelin tribute band Zed.
he's the last. Brian is the last known person that I'm aware of that understands bel canto
The what?
technique.
Oh yeah, I know. It's a really cool technique. Like a lot of diaphragm work, breathing in, breathing out. Like yeah, it was really cool. And he was great because that's when I was back in the band Boondoggle, and he was really cool about willing to, because back then, like I said, it was a completely different beast than it is now. You had to do different legwork to get noticed by record labels.
So
And with his history, like he was willing to sit down with our band, and talk about that, and it was very, very cool and very informative.
here was the interesting thing when I think it was back in the days when they were touring really heavily with like Kiss and Motorhead and all that.
Right? Yeah.
And he hurt his vocal cords, eh?
Well, I think that's what made him.
That's what made him
train this way, so he wouldn't get nodes.
that and guess what happened? He cured the problem by learning how to sing properly.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Fancy that.
Fancy that, yeah.
Fancy
you
that.
okay, so you can have the worst cold ever and not be able to speak, but you can sing. It's a completely different placement. So
Right.
I can have a big cold and be like, it's okay. I'll be able to hit.
Yeah,
those
like
notes
we
because
played a gig not long
you're
ago where
hitting
she had a
higher,
really
like
bad
it's
cold,
a different area.
and she's talking to me, her voice is squeaking, and I'm like, "Are you going to be able to hit these
I'm like,
notes?"
I'm fine.
She's
I'm
got
fine.
it, nails it, and I'm like, because
Yeah.
she's classically trained though, right? So she knows about placement and breathing and all
Where
those
you
things.
put the
Like to be
sound.
honest with you, I haven't used that technique of Brian's for years. I just haven't practiced it enough to be able to
Right.
confidently use it.
Oh,
But I know
you're
it
going to have to go back for a refresher.
I might have to. I think he's probably pretty busy with touring right now, though. And
He's still teaching.
does he still teach it?
Oh,
He's
that's
still teaching. Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
trying to leave. He's trying to leave as much of that knowledge behind as he can. Right.
Right.
amazing.
Yeah. It's a really cool technique.
It's a dying art because the fellow that taught him passed it on to Brian,
Right.
and it's an Italian operatic style of
Yeah.
singing. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Thanks,
So
Andre.
we go back to 2016 and we have a long history. You challenged me around my business model. It's where we are today, fast forward to today. And I want to talk about because we're coming down to about the last 12 minutes of the show here tonight.
Okay.
Something really interesting, the song interlude.
Mhm.
Okay. What's it mean?
So the word interlude, I mean, it's the middle of a story, right? So kind of a side story of what's going on. So it's kind of like, this is the way I can explain it. So kind of like when you feel lost in your story, and something come along to kind of rejuvenate you, and you're halfway through your story, and that happens, and now you've got so much more to look forward to for your second half. That's kind of the concept I went with, and then so that kind of transpired over to the video, and you'll notice, like with mine and Jess's characters in this, is that at the end of the video, so
You're not going to give it up because
I
I
won't give it up.
didn't show the
Okay.
end of the video. They got to
All right, I
watch the
won't say
video on
anything.
Friday to get
But-
the ending, right?
but basically, in a nutshell, what it means is there's someone for everyone, and there's always hope. No matter where you are, you will find your interlude. You'll find something that will rejuvenate you and allow you to continue the rest of your story.
And it can be a person or it can be a thing. Like
Yeah.
music can be that thing,
Yeah, it doesn't have to
right?
be a person
But
per
we
se,
use kind of people in that
sense.
And-
But I mean, also you'll see though too in the video, without giving too much away, is that music has a big inspiration in that.
Yeah.
You'll see like little subtle things. Jess's necklace in the video. There's a guitar in the video. That
This is
guitar
the
right there.
necklace.
That's the necklace right there.
Yeah.
Music notes. So there's these little subtle reminders of what music can really do for you.
Yeah.
I mean, writing the Coaching for Sarah album, I mean, it, you know, not to sound cliche, but it really did save me. Like I was going through some pretty hard times. There was separation and just a lot of personal things, and allowing me to write like that and have that freedom of writing and not care what kind of genre it was or what I spoke out about, it really freed me. And I think that also had a lot, like I said, Interlude was one of the first songs I wrote on that guitar. And I think that really helped me a lot through some stuff. So I think like that will show in the video and show in the song itself a lot about that.
Right. We got Interlude. It's coming out this Friday at noon on our YouTube channel, Indie Tunes Records. You can go over there. I'm going to drop it here in the chat. So anybody that watches the show tonight or watches on the replay, the link is there. If you could go there and share that with people, that would be a really, really cool thing. And get it out to as many people as we can so we can get a lot of eyeballs on this thing. I think you guys need to talk to Sean, because I think he could get a lot of eyes. I think he could get a lot of eyes on that video for you. He's having really great luck with Michelle's stuff.
Yeah,
on YouTube.
Yeah,
and it's evident that he's working his social networks to do that. So
you will connect for sure, Sean.
Yeah.
One of the things that I found, and you know, I'm never like any advice or whatever that I give to people, it's because I've got it from somebody else. I'm just not that bright to come up with myself. But one of the things that I've been told repeatedly is that you have to more or less separate yourself from the current scene that you're in, because they're just not going to support you till you prove yourself to them.
Right.
And I did definitely see that on she hit. So this is her fourth one. So the second single, definitely saw that. It was kind of like, the first one got a lot of play because it was the first one she wrote, and everybody was like,
right.
And then there was a little bit of we don't really like that. We're not going to support it. And so that's the first thing you got to prepare yourself for, and wrap your head around. And actually, don't even worry about it. And and I say that because somebody said it to me, and I was a guy that was kicking furniture over and being pissed off about the fact that my friends weren't supporting me. But once you kind of embrace that, it helps a lot.
And that's it, right? Like, I mean, you can't expect, family and friends to be be your main source of support. Like they'll be there for you, but that doesn't mean they're going to go buy your stuff or share your stuff or whatever. You've got to reach out to people who appreciate you for your music.
Yeah.
Not because I'm your friend, because then that's not real.
I've got a very good friend.
They really have to.
I've got a very good friend in Las Vegas that does PR, and he has what he calls the 3 stages of any success. The first stage is, that's great. I'm going to support you any way I can. The second stage is, they're getting a little too big for their britches. I'm going to ignore them, and I hope everybody else does. And the third stage is, I used to go to school with them, and honest to God,
I know that.
Yeah. Once you hit the big times, all of a sudden,
Here's an interesting statistic about your music. Again, you have 272 regular listeners in your audience. That's just on one platform alone.
Nice.
Right. The larger platforms give me some statistics that give us a sense, sort of a barometer approach. So if you look at some of the major streaming services, that's sort of a good hint at what maybe the whole might look like. Add another 30% to that, right? I would say you're probably sitting upwards of, aggregate-wise, on all streaming services, you probably have upwards of 400 regular listeners.
Cool. That's good. That's good. Right? I'm happy with that. I just want people to hear our music.
And the
That's all I
numbers
can
are
remember.
slowly climbing. The interesting
Yeah.
thing about it is that 46% of those people are previously active audience. That means people are coming back for your music. 46 of the
Right.
people,
Yeah,
46% of the people are coming
I
back
think
for your
I
music.
think too I think it has a lot to do with sure our original music and stuff like that. But I mean, even with like our social presence too, like you have to put yourself out there. You
Yep.
know? And I think that's why I love working with Jess too, is she is not shy. You know, her and I share the same brain. Like
Yeah,
we'll get in
fun.
front of the camera and we're on.
Yeah.
And we diss each other back and forth, and we just love we like being in front of the camera. We like it. Right?
Some people deserve to get dissed.
That's right. You're saying I deserve to get dissed? Or maybe
Well.
maybe shoot. See what I'm saying?
Oh,
So
all
anyways,
all
I'm
of
just
a
saying,
sudden
like,
we go
for
from
instance,
indie tunes to something else.
Don't maybe give you another concussion. Oh, we got to talk about that real quick.
Real quick.
So in the video interlude, all right, I mentioned that her character falls.
I'm falling from the sky, right? You guys see that in the beginning. You
Right,
saw
but
that.
we
You're
won't
part of
get-
a,
we
you're
don't wanna get
part of a
too much-
meteor shower, right? A meteor
Right.
shower.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
had to figure out a way for me to look like I was falling with my hair kind of flying up. And so he could, like,
Animate it properly.
animate it. Yeah.
Right.
So I was like, oh, you know what we could do? I have a trampoline. Why don't I do a back bounce and I'll jump really high and we'll do the
I'll
back
film her
bounce.
falling.
So
The concussion.
yeah, so I did 2 flat back bounces, perfect. Then we were like, well, maybe if I go a little higher, it'll have a better look, after looking at the first 2. It's like, okay, let's do it. So I did the third one. Worst decision ever, because I landed on my lower back and did this kind of
gave her a
just
whiplash.
like whiplash.
Oh.
Had like 4 major concussions already
Prior
before
to this.
This was my 5th major concussion. I have had 6 since.
And then
Yeah,
her not
6
realizing
realizing.
it was concussion. That was like a Thursday or something. That's
yeah.
that Sunday we played a 4-hour gig. So she played a 4-hour show with a concussion, not knowing she had a concussion.
And worked all that week.
And then worked that week, and
Oh,
then
so you weren't resting your brain at all.
at all.
Oh.
And then we were at dinner one time with my family, and she's like, you know what, I'm having a hard time reading this menu. And my sister and my brother's girlfriend are both nurses, and they're like, you got to go to the hospital.
I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go to Emerge.
Yeah,
I think I will.
and sure enough, major concussion.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
put us out of commission for playing shows. Well, I did some solo
For
stuff because we
quite
had some stuff booked already. But for about 7-8 months, she was in a dark room listening to audiobooks. So yeah. So anyways, there's a little bit of history. to that.
I heard you have a history of bumping heads with people too.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. Afterwards, I was playing basketball with my son and like blocking him, and he's like, "Mom, look at this cool move!" And so I did this like deke thing, and
Bam.
he spun and went whack right into my face, and I went, the expression.
Number 7
rang-
concussion.
No, that was 6.
6. Okay.
So
6.
rang
Please stop.
my bell. It rang my bell. Like I was just like, ooh, and I like sat against the trailer, and he was going to camp that week, so I was like, oh, I'm fine, buddy. I'm fine. I'll be fine. I drove him, went back home, and that whole week I was.
But you know what? You
in
recovered.
bed.
I think you recovered from that
That was
one
a
a lot quicker because you knew right away what
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah. So I was in the dark that whole week. Well, for months.
For a
actually.
couple months there.
When he came home, I was like,
and let's
buddy.
keep in mind, I did make her a helmet after her one with the internet.
Yeah, but it was
I did.
ugly.
It was this toque with sponges and bubble wrap on it.
You
I'm
got
gonna wear that.
you got a great disposition about that. I mean that was some serious stuff going on there.
Oh yeah. Like that was 8 months.
And now
in my room,
every time the
in
microwave
dark.
goes off, she spins around and pees.
That's Shane. He just doesn't want to.
Well,
Yeah,
I-
that was-
You don't have to excuse-
I was going to tell you, the only thing I've heard on part of playing a 4-hour show after a concussion was I had a friend that got a vasectomy and went to the gym 2 hours later. And that wound up honest to God, he was from Cambridge, guitar teacher in Cambridge, and he couldn't walk, function, anything for 2 weeks after that. True story.
Oh man, no.
He
Why
doesn't
would you
deserve
do
to have
that?
more kids.
Yeah. He's not smart enough to have any more kids.
Oh,
Oh.
you're making
I
me
think you were
hurt.
gonna say he went to the
thinking-
gym and he ended up coming back with like 5 pregnant girls.
Oh my God!
Like, what?
You know what? I can't believe that an hour has gone by already.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
We're in the
Wait till you see us play songs. It goes by quicker.
we always go a minute of overtime. You guys got a whole bunch of live shows coming up this summer.
Yeah, lots. So we just played one in King Garden, Boiler Beach yesterday. We're playing in London actually this
Yeah,
Sunday
it's
with
so
Boiler
cool.
Beach and a bunch of other bands for Women Rock for Men's Mental Health. So it's a great big
Great
charity
cause.
thing held by BC Composed. She's awesome. Bunch of really good bands. It'll be kind of cool because like London was my old stomping grounds, right? So I'll get to see a lot of my old peers.
Yeah.
And then we're playing
Private party.
we're playing a private party on the 23rd. We're playing Community Living, which
Oh,
is
yeah. Love it.
this place is great. Like I love these people, and we're
Community
playing there
Living.
for on Tuesday, and then we're playing a small town here. They're having their homecoming.
Elmwood Homecoming.
Elmwood Homecoming,
Yeah.
we're playing for
Right.
that, and then we're playing another private party actually for my brother and his girlfriend. They're having a big party, and we're playing for that. And then after that, we're kind of taking a break from gigs so she can focus on the Sound of Music.
I've got a lot of music.
But we're
in
still gonna be doing things like I'm gonna be doing behind the scenes stuff like working on our. We want to do a full album for next summer. Lots of songs on the tape for that. So I'll be working on that behind the scenes, and then we're still gonna be doing our Music Mondays hopefully on Facebook, and then coming the new year we'll be playing some more shows hopefully.
Yeah.
That's
how
about it.
much about working with us has actually helped you to focus on that stuff more?
A lot, because it makes me realize there's so much more to do.
Yeah.
Like even with this interview, I'm like starting to get anxious and stuff. I'm like, oh my god, I had so much to do. There's so much going on this week.
Well,
You know
and
what I
the
mean?
understanding too of how it all works. Like
Right.
you've been very great for opening our eyes to see, okay, how many platforms? Like what? We had no clue there was
The
that many
160
musical.
plus platforms. Like we didn't know. We thought like, okay, you know.
We now are in over 200 markets in over 200 countries now
Wow.
That's amazing.
So
with our
cool.
artist music. So and I mean I get goosebumps when I see that people in Lithuania are listening to our artist music.
Right?
So
Right?
cool.
That
Yeah.
is
I mean-
so cool.
I mean,
love
Who
it.
would have thought that, right? I mean, and
No, I
and-
mean, I remember when you started up at St. Thomas, right?
I mean, we actually have people in China that listen to our artist music.
How about France? Because we got French in our new song.
Yeah,
We
we
have-
have a new song coming out in our album next. Well, it'll be in our
Let me take a look and see if there's anything in the demographics that give us a good sense of that.
France, you make good wine, by the way.
You know, it only gives me some current stuff. So, but in the last 28 days, your streams have come from Canada, U.S., and Australia.
Ooh.
Nice.
We
Ah,
do
down
have
under.
a radio station
Yeah,
that promotes our stuff in Australia.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah. Cool.
Isaac
And-
Bank.
And it's interesting because you've got some local people that must go out to your shows
Yeah.
that are streaming your music.
Yes.
We've got people from and these are breakdowns like Port Elgin, Godrich, London, Ontario. So
Right.
obviously some people that you know from your London connections that are listening to
Absolutely.
your music, and Brantford, Ontario.
Right on. Yeah.
So all places within that sort of distance. Walkerton, Ontario.
Well, that's where we are right now. That's my hometown.
We're-
Right. So
that's what we
so,
work
so
to.
pretty
Yeah.
cool statistics in terms
Yeah.
of the engagement that we're seeing with your music, and I see that engagement slowly going up, and I think that has something to do with you guys working towards putting out more regular content.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting to earlier. Is that it's really good that we're both willing to go in front of the camera and
Yeah.
kind of be fools
Sure.
ourselves and play
Music
songs.
Monday.
Right.
Yeah.
Like other bands I've been in, like I always had to be the face of the band because the other guys were, I don't know, more shy or whatever. They didn't really grasp that part of the business part of it, that you've got to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about Jess. She's totally willing to
It's fun.
come on and sing songs with me
It's
and
fun.
do these
It's
interviews.
being
And
silly. And you know what? That's my theatrical background too. Is I don't mind being seen.
she's acting actually really nice. She's actually really good.
Well, and you guys, sort of thrive on what you're doing, and all your stuff is acoustic right now.
Well, yes and no. So I mean, like when we do our original stuff, we go in the studio and we play it acoustic. Like obviously that's how we write. But then we go in the studio and we add electric guitar and I put drums on there and
He's
whatever.
a drummer too. So
Ryan Spong does our bass. And then when we started off, we were doing just acoustic, strictly me on guitar, the two of us singing, and it's a cool vibe. It's a nice little coffee shop sort of vibe.
Yeah.
But then we wanted to kind of expand that a bit. We wanted the kind of the full band feel.
Well, we started because we had a dance that we were going to
like a St. Patrick's dance we played for at the Legion.
How are people just
it's like,
going to dance to acoustic?
We want people to get up and dance. It's not like it's, the acoustic's great. It's a great vibe, but it's not a vibe, right? So we got this really cool app. It's called Jam Zone, and it's got all the backing tracks, almost any song you can think of. Yeah. You pay for the licensing for it, for the songs, so the artists are getting paid. But it's actually studio artists that go in and do all the tracks. And it's so great. Like it comes up and you've got all the backing tracks. You can just mute it. Like for instance, we're obviously singing, so we just mute it the vocals, mute it one of the guitars, the guitar that I'm playing, say. And then we play along to it, and it's great because then people can. It feels like you've got a full band playing.
Right. You guys don't have a band, so you're using backing tracks.
Exactly, and we even do that with our own stuff now too. So,
geez, Sean, there's a case for backing tracks.
Yeah. So,
I was going to say, feel the wrath of Eddie Trunk, like I have.
I know, right? Honestly, and I get it. Like people, no, real musician. I'm still playing the guitar. Yeah. I'm still singing. Right. And the backing tracks is for the audience, not for us.
The backing track is filling it out.
Yeah.
Right. It's filling it out so you feel that beat, you feel that bottom bass, whatever. And even with our original stuff, we want people to hear our original songs the way it would be if they purchased it or what we did in the studio with it. So we've got all those backing tracks to play along with, and it's such a better feel. Depends what you're going for too. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with just doing an acoustic show, depending on the vibe you want. But with our vibe now, we're turning into more like this a partier or a party.
Some of our songs.
I see you guys. I see you guys with a drummer and a guy with a stand-up bass.
That would be cool. That'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I see you guys. I see you guys with a stand-up bassist and a drummer, and you could put that jazz sort of feel to
it. Yeah.
Right.
Well, like I said, like that's what I love about we were just starting to talk about some new songs that we're thinking about. We've got a real rockin' one. We've got like a more like almost a swing tune we're thinking about, like all these different things, and that's what I love about our music, that when we're releasing it, you don't know what you're going to get next. It could be any kind of genre. You really don't know. We don't even know until it's done.
Right.
So
I'm going to recap. We're past 2 periods of overtime.
Sorry.
No worries. I'm gonna tell you something here. So you got to go and watch the video interlude. It comes out this Friday on Indie Tunes Records on our YouTube channel. You can go there. We've shared the link in the chat for so you can save it. Go there and hit the subscribe button. Go there and hit the notification button so you can be notified when the video goes live, and you can watch it. You can support He Said, She Said. And we'll put
that link on our website as well at www.hesaidshesaiduo.com.
Right, and the track you can find that track wherever music is sold on the internet. You'll be able to find the track live on our at our website indietunes.com.
Yes.
So mosey on over there, check it out. He Said, She Said. Their video's out this Friday on the 26th of August. The single drops. Thanks for joining us tonight. I want to thank you guys for coming out. We'll have to have you back again because I think we didn't barely get into the sort of nuts and bolts of your songwriting. So we're going to talk more about that next time.
We'll come back anytime, my friend.
Yeah.
We got another great guest coming up the next little while. Michael Brandvold joins us again. That's coming up very, very soon. I think next week, isn't it, Sean?
I believe so. Yep.
Yeah. So he'll be joining us again. And we got lots of cool stuff coming on here. These guys will be back on the show. He Said, She Said. Check them out wherever music is sold and at indietunes.com. Remember, I am Kenny. You are not.